humanity. It is November 13th, 2023, and it's the favorite time of everybody's week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, my name is Paul.
Good morning. This is Bev.
Oh.
I know.
Well, at least I guess if it's our best time of the week, it must be that time of the week for everybody. Because who is everybody but us? So,
That's right.
hello, everyone. We're going to talk today about BioTouch for healthy aging. And why are we going to talk about that? Because Bev and I are aging.
Hopefully healthy.
So, anyhow, what inspired me, I had a couple of other things I thought we could talk about, but what inspired me was in the past week, maybe 10 days, I've opened up two or three magazines, and the cover article was about aging, healthy aging, about how to age, what to do, all these interviews with people. And then this morning on the way here to the center, there was on NPR, there was an interview about hearing imbalance for elderly people. That if you can't hear properly, you have no balance and you end up falling more. And so they've done research showing that even just a simple little hearing aid allows people to feel more stable. So we wanted to talk about how BioTouch in our life can help us feel a little more stable.
Oh man, do we need stability now or what?
Yeah, things are sort of in a upheaval, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. People think, oh, balance, huh? Well, a lot of what life is about bringing in a sense of equilibrium into our lives where we're not dealing with the extremes, where we're able to really just kind of come into a midway point, become observers of our lives, and work towards a little bit of peace of mind. That's the midway point. So how do you equate that to your ears?
Right.
Well, first of all, we have two ears, and everything here works in dualities. So here we have ears, but there's a lot of things that can go wrong with the ears, as we know, because we have a ear set. Um, things like the ringing in the ears, or ear infections, or hearing loss. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of things that can create that sense of, and when you aren't hearing, it kind of relates to an imbalance, a sense of imbalancing. So yeah, it's really, when you stop and think about it, hearing is a very important um, aspect of our lives, for heaven's sakes.
Right. And even just the idea of balance, I mean, it's sort of a metaphor, that the hearing on both sides of this brain, and dealing with all the sensory perceptions that knock us this way and then one knocks us that way. And, we have all these stressors in our life. And for many of us, especially those baby boomers now, who the reason we're talking about, that's a huge part of the population,
Yeah.
moving into that Social Security time and Medicare time and trying to find out how to move into this gracefully. And BioTouch helps us bring balance into that time of our life. And I think even more important that we want to talk about too is it gives us something to share also. The
Mm.
big part here about BioTouch is this helps bring relationship. And that's a big part of graceful aging. Is the relationship we have, if nothing else, just with our family, and our grandkids, and some of us great grandkids.
Right.
How can we use BioTouch to help bring relationship, which that in itself gives us a sense of belonging. A big part of what happens is a lot of people grow older. They become isolated.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. And I think that contributes to, of course, a quality of life. And that's really what we're talking about here, especially in terms of biotouch, a quality of life. And you and I have kind of talked about, let's call that affluency. Because we're not talking in terms of wealth, monetary wealth. We're talking in terms of becoming affluent where you can be of use to society, where you feel, because we all have gifts and talents. Every single one of us has gifts and talents. Many of them are always untapped within us. But when you are able to feel better, when your body feels better and all those other parts of yourselves are kind of, feeling more in balance, we'll say, then you are able to actually contribute to the greater whole called humanity. It has nothing to do with age.
Right.
It is a sense of a beingness, a sense of being present, and we're all here to contribute to that whole. It makes us equal when we start to practice biotouch. It breaks down all those barriers of, well, we've said it many times, cultures and genders and colors and age. Age is that's a big one for us in the West, isn't it? It's
Right.
always it's always amazed me that the ones that are perpetuating this dream world, this illusion of youth, will be old if
Right.
they're lucky. If they're lucky, they
Right.
will grow old.
And we're not talking here about having to do, 5 days a week at the gym for 30 minutes and high
No,
impact weights, or walk a mile of fast walking, or ride your bike for this and that, or, make sure that your pecs look good or your hips are in the right shape, and that the hair is we're not talking about that.
no, no.
We're talking about something much simpler. We're talking about something that's as simple as saying to your grandkids, hey, grandpa needs some help. Grandpa, he's dealing with a little heart murmur, or he's got a headache, or, oh, grandpa, has got this. And saying to the grandkids, can you help me? Can you help grandpa? Can you help grandma? And I am reminded how easy this is, where we had a woman order the manual and video set and the DVD. And she'd never done healing work. I don't know how she found us, but she bought the set. It was sent to her. It happened to get to her house the day she was with her grandkids, grandson, granddaughter. And I think the granddaughter was maybe 6 and the grandson was 10 or 11. And she had this incredible sinus headache. It was just killing her. And so they got this biotouch healing, and they looking through it, and of course there's this sinus set. And so they put the DVD in, they open up the manual, and the grandson works on grandma's sinuses, and they immediately feel better. Immediately feel better. And the next day, it started to come back again, and this time the little 6-year-old wanted to do it, the little girl. And so she starts to do it, and the little boy goes, no, 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 wait a minute, you missed the greeting. Yeah.
He's already
He
a
already a pro,
instructor. He's already an instructor. I love it.
and I've realized ever since that wonderful, people ask me, well, what are some of the most amazing things that have happened with BioTouch? That is at the top 10.
And you know why? Because it really confirms and affirms what we have always, which you've been saying for 35 years, what this whole foundation believes. Speaking of foundation, that's where it begins. The foundation of the family. That is just, BioTouch should be a grassroots revolution,
Right.
because, and I really believe this is this is a big part of our responsibility as an organization, a global organization, our responsibility to teach as many of humanity that we can, and it begins with grandma and those two kids. That is a perfect scenario of what we're here to do. That's a just it's what where you can start. It's where
Right.
you can begin. We're not asking you, as Paul said, we're not asking you to go out and create all that stuff you mentioned about, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted just listening to what we go through every day just to be what, perfect in the eyes of everybody or acceptable or whatever. BioTouch is here to first bring us into an acceptance of ourselves.
Right. That
That's where it has to begin. And it begins in that realm called the family, where you feel where you're part of a circle, an inner circle. That's where it starts.
And so we also wanted to share that the research that Dr. Stevenson did, and we're going to show that chart again because she showed how BioTouch, here's the chart where if you're just listening to us, there's the all the stressors in our life. And if you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, that's a few decades of those stressors, let alone what you came into this world with based on your DNA or your genes. But just watching the news right now and the conflicts, and most of us are on social medias, and most of us are, being bombarded with ideas, opinions. So we're getting all these stressors, and one of the bigger stressors that we're still reeling from was that pandemic shutdown, which Dr. Stevenson told us she's noticing a huge decrease in, if you'll notice there, interleukin 12 levels, which improves the immune system function. And when you have a good level of interleukin 12, increases the activity of genes that fight infection and cancer and promote healthy aging. She found if you put BioTouch into the chronic stress cycle, you stop that immune dysregulation, you stop the cortisol dysregulation, and you improve the body's ability to fight cancer, to have a better rest, and to promote healthy aging. That in itself, if that's all BioTouch does, that chart there, it takes care of 80% of the issues that we're dealing with in this lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. And she actually said that she believes if you just do BioTouch once a week
Right.
in your life, you're going to greatly make a change.
Right. Okay.
Just once a week.
Once a week. We're talking once a week for give it a couple of minutes. I mean, you don't just want to do the greeting once a week because you could
Well,
do the
no,
ear set
no,
too, right? So,
of
but even
course.
if you did 15 seconds of just doing the greeting with a loved one, or as we've said before, if you're one of those who have nobody around, you can picture the grandson or granddaughter doing the greeting, right? Again, what is the greeting? You take the index and the middle finger of your dominant hand and you touch just below the breastbone. You feel that? It just gets soft right there. And you hold that lightly like a butterfly for 6 to 8 seconds. Picture somebody doing it to you if you can't do it, if you have nobody there. And you take that same dominant hand that you just touched and you go behind your neck, lean it forward. There's a big bone pops out. Go to the left of that about an inch to an inch and a half. Again, lightly touching for 6 to 8 seconds. Boom, the greeting.
Boom.
A healing has started, a connection has begun, um, and healthy aging. Will
Healthy aging. I truly believe that one of the um, elements of healthy aging, and we say that in our vision statement and our actually, I'm sorry, our mission statement, it's for every stage of life. Um, but when we begin to really get in touch with our bodies, and I think this is a lot of the situation, especially for the older generations, they're not as much in touch with their body. because, we've been all programmed in certain ways about what our body is, and in many ways we stand outside of it. So we have to develop a relationship with our bodies because it holds everything we are. And this is the power of biotouch. This is why it's so incredibly important.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter about anything other than it begins to address the body. There's nothing else. We all have one.
That's right. We're stuck in one. Jenny was just
Yeah.
saying to me yesterday. She says, you know, every day I get up, this body has another problem.
Another story to
Another,
tell.
that's another story. It's like, what the hell? I'm starting to feel good, and then boom, this pain comes up, and then my neck, and then my neck feels, my back, and yeah, it's sort of like, and I always joke about it, the stupid old body. It just keeps on going, and I had so many elder friends always say to me, "Oh, Paul, you're just young, getting old. It's not for sissies, But
Right.
something, I am a sissy, and BioTouch helps me relate to my sissiness and my body and
That's
all of its
right.
pains. And then, if you've done that greeting, you just take the two fingers, take them, and just touch around a pain. It could be a neck. You might not know anything else in the manual, but once you've done that greeting, you can
Yep.
take those two fingers and just touch a local pain. Even if you don't know the sinus set or the ear set, you can just sort of lightly touch in the area where there's
In the
pain,
area.
or touch all around the ears. But we have an ear set, a sinus set, an eye set, a headset which works on the brain if you're worried about cognitive decline. BioTouch
Right.
helps with that. And we have a shoulder set and a stress set and a heart set. I mean, we have sets
On
to
and on.
address anything that the body can hold on to.
Yep.
Anything. And it doesn't take a belief system to notice results.
I always think about biotouch is giving the body what it wants. Giving the body, biotouch gives the body what it wants and needs at that moment.
Yeah. That's what Louis used to say, trusting you are loved. And that light touch is just sort of saying to the body, here, follow me. It's
Right.
all okay.
Because the body knows
The body knows.
what
And
it wants and what it needs. And it's called balance. It's called wholesome. It's called bringing it back. And there we go, balance again. It's an important work to do for all of us in our lives.
so the body knows what it needs, and all of you now know what you need. And that's
Yeah,
BioTouch in your
we need
life.
biotouch.
Just think, what would your life be without BioTouch? What would humanity be without BioTouch? Well, we don't have to think about that anymore because we have BioTouch.
We
So
do. It's ready.
go to justtouch.com. Go to biotouchhealing.com. I don't care where you go. Go to office at justtouch.com.
Right.
Call us with the phone number 520-323-7951. I don't care how you get hold of us. Just scream our name and we'll
Just
show
get
up.
hold of us.
Yes. Learn
Yeah.
BioTouch today. And we're here to help you do that in any way we can. We have classes. We have our next practitioner training. If you're here in Tucson, it's going to be live, 10 CE credits with Eileen Webster, one of our instructors. And we will not be having a workshop this month because it'll be Thanksgiving, but next month we will. So please get hold of us. Thank you, Bev. Happy aging.
Paul. Thank you, everyone.
See y'all.
If pain has got you down and you live in town, take a trip down to Pima Street. The people down there are people who care. They will get you back on your feet. Put love into action. Put love into action. If you ever want to have any real satisfaction, choose love while you still can. Don't even try to understand. A healing grace in your own hands. Put love into action.